Hello, my name is Evelyn Reed. If you're here, you're probably looking for a story about betrayal, about family secrets, and about the moment everything you believe to be true shatters. Trust me, I have that story. This isn't some dramatic reality show clip. This is my life. This is the truth about the day my perfect, loving parents decided to erase me, and how I uncovered a 25-year-old lie that changed my name, my identity, and my future forever. I promise you, if you've ever felt overlooked, unappreciated, or that something fundamental about your life was missing, you need to hear this. Don't click away. This is a warning wrapped in a confession. This is the moment I learned my entire existence was a very expensive, deeply guarded secret. I woke up on my 25th birthday, expecting a symphony of celebration. I'm not a diva. I'm just their only daughter, the silver key to my adulthood. I checked my phone. Nothing. Total silence. Not a text from mom, not an email from dad, no celebratory post from my elder sister, Clara, who lives on the East Coast. It was eerie. I tried to rationalize it. Maybe they were planning a huge, lavish surprise that required radio silence until the grand reveal. I put on my best smile and headed downstairs. My father was engrossed in the Wall Street Journal. My mother was scrolling through travel blogs on her tablet, sipping her artisanal coffee. "Good morning," I chimed, maybe a little too loud. "What a beautiful day," my father grunted, his eyes fixed on the stock market page. Mmm, ordinary Sunday." My mother glanced up, offering a vacant, fleeting smile. "I need to call the landscapers later, Ev. Did you remember to take out the trash?" Take out the trash? On my 25th birthday? I felt a knot tighten in my stomach. I tried again. "I think 25 is a significant milestone. Don't you think?" I said, looking directly at them, searching for any flicker of recognition. My mother sighed dramatically. "Oh, milestones, yes. Speaking of which, your sister Clara called last night. Her in-laws are visiting next month. We need to book a really impressive restaurant for them. Maybe that new French place downtown. I'll get started on the reservation list this afternoon." They launched into a 10-minute discussion about Clara, her career, her husband, and her future dinner party, all while I sat 3 feet away, feeling the oxygen drain from the room. My birthday was completely absent from their conversation, absent from their minds. I was invisible. By lunchtime, the forced cheer had evaporated, replaced by a cold, searing heat of anger. This was not forgetfulness. This was deliberate. A message. But what was the message? And why now, after 25 years of being their precious little girl? That night, I didn't sleep. The emotional pain morphed into a furious need for answers. I realized if they could ignore the most fundamental truth, my existence, then everything else they had ever told me could be a lie. I went to my father's study. He always kept his old briefcase locked, hiding important documents from prying eyes. I had tried to guess the code over the years with no success. But then I remembered the dinner conversation. Clara, my sister, was the golden child. I tried her date of birth, August 14th, 1990. Click! The lock sprang open. My hands shook as I reached inside. I rifled past tax returns and investment statements until I found a dusty, oversized manila envelope marked Urgent, Do Not Open. Inside, tucked beneath years of accumulated junk, was my birth certificate. I pulled it out. Evelyn Grace Reed, date of birth, correct. Parents, correct. But then I saw the place of birth, not St. Jude's Hospital in our prosperous suburban town as I had always been told, but the Starlight Rural Clinic in a tiny remote town in the deep south, a place over 1,500 miles away. My head swam. Why the lie about the location? Why a rural clinic? As I scanned the document again, my eyes caught a small, almost imperceptible, handwritten annotation near the margin. It was scrawled faintly in my mother's elegant cursive. Agreement finalized, $60,000 paid, confidentiality clause signed by all parties. Adoption. I wasn't their biological child. The realization was a physical blow, knocking the air out of my lungs. They had kept this monumental secret from me for a quarter of a century. And they did it with a financial transaction. The shock turned immediately to ice-cold rage. I regained my composure. The certificate was only the first layer. I had to know the full price of their secret. I shifted my focus to the detailed bank statements I had found in the briefcase. On the first of every month, for exactly 25 years, a wire transfer of precisely $5,000 was sent to a single recipient, Lola Kosimov. The address was near that remote Starlight Clinic. This wasn't a one-time payment. This was an annuity. This was hush money. I searched for Lola Kosimov. A brief social media profile appeared. A woman in her late 50s, looking worn, tired, but with a familiar warmth in her eyes. I noticed a subtle, unmistakable resemblance to myself, particularly around the jawline and the curve of the smile. My heart hammered in my chest. I drafted an email to her, attaching a photo of myself as a toddler, taken shortly after my alleged adoption. I signed it simply, Evelyn. Minutes later, my phone rang. An unknown number. I answered, my voice barely a whisper. Hello, is this Evelyn? The woman's voice was raspy, thick with years of unspoken grief. You sent me that picture. Who are you? I'm the daughter of the people who pay you $5,000 every month, I said, my voice breaking. Who are you, Lola? There was a long, shuddering silence, then a sound like a quiet sob. They promised. They promised I'd never have to talk to you. They promised our silence would be protected. She took a deep breath. Evelyn, my dear girl, I am the reason you were born in that clinic. I am your biological mother. The revelation didn't shock me this time. It just confirmed the deepest, darkest truth. My parents didn't just adopt me. They bought me from a woman in financial distress and then paid her a lifetime retainer to ensure she never interfered with their perfect facade. They had paid for my silence, and my entire identity was built on a bribe. I knew I couldn't just walk away. I had to face them. I had to watch their beautiful, crafted world of lies burn. That evening, I waited until they were comfortably settled in the living room, watching the evening news. I walked in, holding the manila envelope, the documents spread out like evidence on a courtroom table. You really didn't think I'd find out? I asked, my voice dangerously soft. They both looked up, finally startled. I slammed the papers onto the mahogany coffee table. Today is my 25th birthday, but I'm not here to talk about cake. I'm here to talk about this. I pointed to the certificate. Starlight Rural Clinic. Adoption. Why did you lie? My father sprang up, knocking a lamp over. Evelyn, calm down. We were going to tell you eventually. We love you. Love, I scoffed. Love doesn't come with a confidentiality clause. Love doesn't pay $5,000 a month for 25 years to keep my biological mother a pauper and me a prisoner of your narrative. I pointed to the bank statement. Lola Kosimov. She told me everything. You didn't adopt a child, you purchased one and then paid for her origin story to be erased. My mother sank onto the couch, her hands covering her face, her shoulders shaking violently. We wanted you so badly, I couldn't have children. It was the only way. And what about me? I screamed, finally letting the rage pour her out. What about my need to know who I am? You didn't forget my birthday today. You decided that since your secret was intact, you could just stop acknowledging me altogether. You saw me as an asset, and when I grew up, I became a liability. My father moved toward me, but I took a step back. Don't touch me. You've had 25 years of being my parents. That contract is officially terminated. I walked away from the scene of their collapse. I packed a suitcase, taking only essentials and the damning financial documents. They followed me to the front door, weeping, their perfect facades shattered into fragments of desperate regret. You can't leave, this is your home, my mother begged, grabbing my arm. I gently but firmly pulled away. This is not my home. This is a mausoleum of lies. You forgot my birthday, and in doing so, you gave me the one thing you never wanted me to have, the truth. I opened the front door and stepped out into the cold night air. The air was cleaner, the path clearer. I was homeless, but for the first time, I felt I belonged to myself. As I walked down the long driveway, I pulled out my phone. I didn't text my sister. I didn't text a friend. I opened the message thread to the woman I had just met. Lola, I wrote, I am on my way. I'm driving south. I want to meet you and hear the rest of my story. See you soon. Daughter. They thought they could buy my life. They were wrong. My 25th birthday was the day I reclaimed it. If you liked the video, please subscribe to the channel, like, and share with your friends. Your support is my greatest inspiration. Thank you.